Okay, class, good afternoon. This is our second lecture, and we have finished talking about the introduction last time, and I'm going to move you to uh, chapter 2. And this picture just show you guys the way your senior work. Uh, the Thai was say that he worked up until morning. Anyway, let me start the chapter 2. On the chapter 2, we are going to studying the slope deflection method. As Ajahn mentioned previously, we concentrated on the consistent deformation method, and we classify the consistent deformation method to be one of the force method. And again, we use what's so-called redundant in the analysis of consistent deformation method, and then combine with the so-called compatibility condition and also the equation of equilibrium we can solve for this unknown. And again, to determine the redundant, we also need to determine what's so-called the degree of indeterminacy. The degree of indeterminacy is going to be the unknown, the number of the unknown, and then minus the number of equation of equilibrium. Okay, for example, if you have the beam with the pin roller and roller subjected to this kind of force, we determine the unknown going to be the reaction 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to be 4 unknown. And then the beam continuous from A, B, C. So you're going to be minus 1 free body diagram times 3 equation. The degree of freedom, the degree of independency of this beam gonna be 1. So require 1 redundant in order to solve this problem. Now, we come to a new method called the slope deflection method. The slope deflection method is a kind of displacement method. In this method, we going to use the displacement as the unknown. That's going to be, we're going to use slope, we're going to use the deflection as the unknown. And then we call this unknown deformation to be degree of freedom. So is this a kind of new concept to determine the unknown? Degree of indeterminacy or DOI. We use this for the force method. And for the degree of freedom, we call it DOF. That's going to be used for the slope deflection method. And then you will get 2 sets of the slope deflection equation. You will get 2 sets of slope deflection equation. And I should mention first, it's going to be starting with 2EI over L and something else. Okay, this is going to be the general equation, can be used to solve any kind of structure. And then you have second type of the equation, start with 3EI over L and then putting something. This is going to be special set of equation for the structure that has what's so-called external pin or external roller. That's for external pin or external roller. The second set going to assist you or help you to solve the problem easier. However, there is an disadvantage on using this second set of equation. I will talking in detail about it later. After you solve all of this one, you will get the unknown degree of freedom, and later you will get the what's so-called end moment, and also you will get the end shear force. After you get the end shear force, then you come to the third step. On the third step, you're going to be the same thing, going to the shear force diagram, bending moment diagram, draw the elastic curve, those kind of things. So the third learning objective going to base on what you have learned since engineering static, since the theory of structure is going to be what's so-called in Thai, bun in you if you are really good of it. But if you are not good at it, it's going to be the time you're going to correct everything, correct your mistake. Okay. So the main thing, we're going to start with the concept, and then Ajahn will derive the slope deflection equation, and then Ajahn will point out how to apply them to solve the problem. And we have 3 exam homeworks, okay, and there are the Thai English version of the homework. Did you get those English the homework that changed from Thai to English? Did you have the file? You don't have it, right? So after the class, you may, okay, copy, or should I put it and then you can download it? I will talking about that later. Now, we're going to have the normal class on the July 28th. Okay, that's going to be the King birthday, and we should do our normal life to continue our education. Then let me start. Okay, I'm talking about the concept of force method already. Okay, and then we use the redundant. Most of the time, we prefer to use the force, unknown force, to be the redundant. Then we write the compatibility condition. Then we use the force displacement relationship to put into the compatibility condition. Then you solve for the redundance. Now, again, we are changing our interest to displacement method. We're going to use the slope and the deflection as the unknown. For the beam, mainly, we're going to use the slope as the unknown. But for the frame, we use both. In this one, we will have the force displacement relationship. This one will be in the form of slope deflection equation, as Ajahn mentioned before. After you write the slope deflection equation, which they are going to be in the form of unknown displacement, you are going to use the equilibrium equation to write the equation solving for the unknown displacement. After you get the unknown displacement, you put it back to the slope deflection equation. You will get the end moment. From the end moment, you get the end shear, and then you get a free body diagram, and then you get shear force diagram, and then you get bending moment diagram. The step of the calculation going to be fixed. Just follow the step. Okay, just follow the step. The main thing going to be what going to be the degree of freedom. You got to identify them correctly. And then since there is 2 sets of this slope deflection equation, you're going to select a proper equation. After that, step gonna be the same. Just follow all the step. The main thing, you're going to solve the simultaneous equation. You may use your calculator to solve it. Okay. Let me start back to our really original assumption. Two things gonna be involved. First, under the application of the force, the structure gonna have linear elastic behavior, such as for the steel, we are going to interested only in the first portion of the behavior. We won't interested in the second plastic behavior. And then since we only interested in linear elastic, so the deflection going to be very small, such as 0.010 meter, or it's going to be 10 or 20 millimeter. It's not going to be 100 millimeter or 200 millimeter for sure. If you get that, redo your calculation. Okay, it's going to be small, like 20 or 10 millimeter. If we're talking about the slope, it's going to be something like 0.001 radian. Okay, it's not 0.1 radian. That's too big. Okay, now following another important thing. อาจารย์ always mention that when you draw the elastic curve, you only draw it based on bending moment diagram. Your beam, your frame won't have axial deformation. It won't elongate or contraction. If I said it's 3 meter before the application of the force, later it's still 3 meter. Actually, it may be 3.001 meter. That's too small. Okay. And then you will should draw the elastic curve with those important concepts. And let me take you back to last term. We talking a lot about the degree of indeterminacy. But for this one, อาจารย์ would like to put more concentration on that axial deformation and axial force in the beam. We are going to say it's going to be approximately zero. So, based on that concept, we have the first beam to be this one, the reaction. Since there is no axial force, the reaction here gonna be 2. Okay, and this one gonna be 2. And this one gonna be 1. The total unknown on this condition gonna be 5. And then since you don't care about the axial deformation, the equation of equilibrium, summation of x sub x gonna be automatically correct. The number of equation of equilibrium reduced from 3 to 2. So, by consider this concept, this one gonna have 3 degree of indeterminacy. And then if we consider another beam, we just free point A from fixed to free, we're going to have the total of 3 unknown forces and moment. And again, the number of equation of equilibrium reduced from 3 to 2. So this problem gonna be 1 degree of indeterminacy. To solve this one is you require only 1 redundant force. The problem gonna be easy as you have in your final examination. But if we consider this problem, you require 3 redundant force. The problem going to be very complicated. Now, the engineer got to develop some method to solve the problem with high degree of indeterminacy. There is a professor at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign in United States of America. He developed slope deflection. The slope deflection going to be good for the structure with a number of degree of indeterminacy. But before I go to that, let me point out one thing. We're going to define node, okay? The word node going to be any point on the structure that we are going to determine the unknown displacement. Okay, it can be the support, it can be the joint, it can be the free end. Now, we consider the displacement under this kind of structure at A, okay, is fixed. So, zeta sub A, V sub A, Y, and also V sub AX. This one gonna be all zero. The same thing. Zeta sub C equal to 0, V sub CY 0, V sub CX equal to 0. Due to what? Fixed support. And come to this one, we will have V sub CY equal to 0, V sub CX won't be 0, and zeta sub B won't be 0. However, based on our assumption of no axial deformation, we will say this one also equal to 0. So this problem has only one degree of freedom or have only one unknown displacement. Okay, that's going to be what? Zeta sub B. This one, if you recall, this one have DOF equal to 1, but it have DOI equal to 3. This one is not good if you use force method. Okay, this one can be so easier if we use displacement method since we saw for only one unknown. Okay, anyway, if we come back to the beam B, we have zeta sub A won't be 0. Okay, and then if we won't consider axial deformation, V sub A sub Y won't be 0. And this one, zeta sub B won't be 0. This one gonna have DOF equal to 3. Okay, and if you recall it, this one have DOI equal to 1. That means this one is not good if you solve it with the displacement method, but it is good if you use force method. So the both of them complement to each other depend on the problem in your consideration. If I conclude this is good for displacement method, this is good for force method by consider the degree of indeterminacy and degree of freedom. Now, let me take you to this one. The steel rod link from pin at A to pin at B and to pin at C. And then you put the weight, maybe, let's say 10 Newton. The steel rod change its shape, bend it, and then you may sketch the elastic curve of this steel rod. Follow this like book. We are looking for the degree of freedom of this one. So we should start with pointing to the node. Okay, the node in this consideration going to be node A, node B, node C, and node D. Okay, because we are looking for the deformation such as this one. If you put it, this is going to be zeta sub A. You put the tangential line and reference to the original horizontal line. You have this one rotate in this counterclockwise direction. And then for the second one, if you draw the tangential line over here, you will get the rotation of this one in this direction. And you may say this is going to be theta B. And this theta B rotate in clockwise direction. So the degree of freedom we are consider is a kind of vector. It have magnitude and it also have direction. Coming to the point C, if you draw the tangential line over here, you will have this rotation that's gonna be equal to be theta C on the left and on the right, because the joint, okay, have the rigid joint, and that is going to rotate in this direction. The last one, the rotation gonna be in this direction called theta sub D. That's going to be in counterclockwise direction. And then following this one, the total displacement at the node, okay, at the node, going to be your degree of freedom. Okay, only the unknown deformation. For the author, such as V sub AY equal to 0, this one won't be the degree of freedom by this definition. The same thing, V sub BY equal to 0, V sub CY equal to 0, V sub DY equal to 0. They are not degree of freedom in this consideration. And you may see for the beam, the degree of freedom always in the form of slope only. Okay, so we will start with the beam. And then if we move to the frame, you will have like side sway to be your linear displacement or the deflection. Okay, that's going to be the second part complicated. This beam have the total of 4 degrees of freedom. Ajahn, can we take this one as the node? Let me take everything out. You may take this one at the node. Okay, by this one, let's say put it to be point E. At this one, you will get the deflection V sub E Y. And also at this one, you will get the slope to be theta sub E. But I said you may use it, but not for hand calculation. Okay, you may put that one for the node if you use the computer program, and you will get the magnitude and direction of these two displacement. But for manual calculation, we're going to minimize the unknown. We're going to minimize the degree of freedom. Now, I already mentioned about the degree of freedom, and on this problem, we have only theta sub B from the previous slide. And for this one, we have 3 degrees of freedom. Okay, and Ajahn said for this kind of beam, displacement method going to be very good. Okay, but for this one, force method going to be better. And following what we learned here, the conclusion, I should say both of the methods, they are good for a specific problem. And then we are moving to another point. I put this slide. I would like to review how you draw the elastic curve. Okay, when we draw the elastic curve, one important thing you got to consider the support. This is fixed support. When we say this is fixed support, theta sub A is 0. V sub AY is 0. If we won't consider the axial deformation. And then this is concave downward. Negative moment. Positive moment, you got to concave upward. And then it's going to be concave downward, concave upward, concave downward, and then concave upward. Between concave downward and concave upward, there is a point of zero moment. Okay, point of zero moment. This is going to be the inflection point. Then, following this one, Ajahn would like you to project the point down. Project the point down in order to guide you during drawing the elastic curve. I like you guys to get full score of drawing it. Okay. And then, following what we have here, this is going to be the pin support. Then zeta sub b won't be zero. This is going to be the pin support. Zeta sub c won't be zero, and also over here zeta sub d won't be zero. Then follow the moment diagram. This one concave downward. This one concave upward. Okay, and then this one concave downward. When you draw it, please put it into the reference line. This passing to the neutral axis of the beam. Okay, you got to put it over there. And then you may put it concave upward. And then put it concave downward. Okay, and finally, you will get this one to be concave upward. And this is going to be your zeta sub d. And this is going to be your zeta sub c. And this is going to be your zeta sub b. We have total of 3 degrees of freedom. Now, Ajahn should say something. In the slope deflection method, okay, we're going to introduce you another term. We call it end moment. What's going to be end moment? If Ajahn said this is going to be your member AB, okay, there is the point here, and there is a point here. The moment of this one on the left of point B, we call it M sub BA. And we call the moment on the right hand side of point A, this is going to be M sub AB. Okay. M at point A, when another point is B, we call M sub AB. M at the point B, at another point to BA, we call it M sub BA. Okay, now let me move to the next one. On the right of point B, there is the moment over here called M sub BC. And on the left of point C, we call this one M sub CB. Very close to point C. Okay, maybe only 0.1 millimeter, but not at that point. And then we also have this one and this one. And we call this one to be M sub CD. And the last one over here, we call it M sub DC. Since D is external pin, okay, M sub CD gonna be zero. You know about it. M sub CD gonna be zero. That's called boundary condition or force boundary condition. Now, you know about the end moment already. So, for one member, you will have two ends moment. Member AB, you have M sub AB and M sub BA. Member BC, you have M sub BC and M sub CB. Something like that one. If you have 4 members, you have 8 end moments. Okay, some end moment you may know, such as M sub CD. And most of them you won't know. You are going to determine the end moment. Now, let me move you guys to the next one. This is maybe one of the example of this beam. Okay, if you have many span and you fix it on one end, okay, and then we come to very important concept. For a given continuous beam, such as this one, we only concentrate on one member. Okay, and อาจารย์ชุด said the member gonna be measure from one end to the other end, and อาจารย์ชุด said we measure here to over here. Okay, near the support, not at the support. Now, what the beam gonna be subjected to? The beam will subjected to external loading, such as the weight of the car. Okay, that's going to be P. And also subjected to the dead load of its own beam member and also the dead load of the traffic surface on top concrete. That's going to be W. We call them external loading. Most of the time we won't have external moment. Okay, it's going to be point load. It's going to be uniform. No, it's going to be distributed load. And then another important thing that may occur going to be the differential settlement. Based on this one, this end may have the downward. I said downward differential settlement. We call it delta. Most of the time, delta is known. How come delta is known for the beam? You may use the surveying to check the elevation with the reference elevation. If you get the difference between the elevation, that's going to be differential settlement. Now, the structure under application of the force P and W is going to produce the end moment, and this one M sub AB, and this one gonna be M sub BA, and clockwise rotation gonna be positive. Okay, clockwise rotation gonna be positive. Negative gonna be counterclockwise. Then following this one, we have the slope over here to be theta sub A, and slope of the tangential line at B to be theta B. The clockwise rotation of the slope gonna be positive. Okay. Third, we going to have the angle due to the differential settlement over here. We call it phi. Okay, phi gonna be delta over L. Okay, and when phi rotate clockwise, delta over L. Okay, for this one also, this is going to be delta over L. If they rotate clockwise, they are positive. That's going to be the definition of all positive sign convention. One more thing. Every beam, such as this one, may have, let me put this one, box section. And for the box section, you will have the centroid. And then you may compute I. I is what? Moment of inertia. And since this box may built by the steel, you also the material property E. E is what? Modulus of elasticity. Then when you time E with the I, we call this fractional rigidity. And that's going to show the stiffness of the beam. Okay, let me take you back for very simple beam subjected to the point load. From material testing, we measure the deformation of this one, and we will have the elastic curve of this beam, something like this, light blue, and this one gonna be Vmax, gonna be PL cube over 48, and then it's going to be time EI. Then if EI is large, you will see the deflection gonna be small. Okay, that's going to be the property of the fractional rigidity. Okay, now if you know every condition variable that's going to be under our consideration, let me move you to determine the slope deflection equation. Okay, we will determine the slope deflection equation based on end moment, based on degree of freedom, based on differential settlement. Now, the portion AB, okay, under consideration, when we apply the forces to it, the beam will develop the end moment again. End moment due to the applied loading, gonna be M sub AB and M sub BA. Okay, the equation gonna derive based on the end moment. And then the second thing, under application of the external force, there is rotation occur. That's gonna be the degree of freedom zeta sub A and zeta sub B. And also, again, as Ajahn mentioned, there may be the differential settlement. Now, all of this gonna relate to each other. But before we relate it, we got to put the assumption the deformation only due to the moment, no axial deformation. And also the joint gonna be rigid joint. Or in order the moment at the joint, the sum of them gonna be 0. We going to put the sign convention or clockwise direction. Zeta sub A, zeta sub B, end moment, the phi, they all positive if clockwise. Now, we separate the first one. Okay, the first one, we consider zeta sub A and put zeta sub B to be 0 and put delta to be 0. We consider how zeta sub A gonna produce M sub A B and M sub BA. How zeta sub A contribute to the end moment. And then second one, we going to consider how zeta sub B. Okay, when zeta sub A is 0, delta is 0, gonna contribute to end moment M sub AB and M sub BA in order to get the equation. Then the third one, we come to the what's so called, actually it's going to be differential displacement or relative displacement. Now, that's going to occur when zeta sub A equal to 0 and zeta sub B equal to 0. And the last one, the applied loading, when zeta sub A equal to 0 and zeta sub B equal to 0. All these four conditions, when combined together, going to be the combination of all we have discussed before. Okay, but we do this, we got to follow the principle of superposition to reduce the complex problem into the simple one, and later we will combine them together. Okay, now let me start with the first one. Okay, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. This slide just change the wording from the previous slide into the pictures. Okay, the way engineer always do it, draw the pictures, and then Ajahn will start to consider for each one. Okay, the first one, we are looking for the end moment due to zeta sub A. Okay, zeta sub A will produce M sub AB and M sub BA in the form of slope zeta sub A. Okay, and then if you take a look at the PowerPoint, you jump back here. But Ajahn should say, actually, I like you guys to write everything by yourself if you prefer. From the pictures that Ajahn show you, we may put it in writing like this one. Again, we consider slope at A. So this one must be pin or roller. And this one fixed. Zeta sub B gonna be 0. And the rotation zeta sub A will related to M sub BA. And actually gonna have M sub BA over here. Now, if you draw the free body diagram, the beam subjected to M sub AB and M sub BA going to have the reaction A sub Y and B sub Y. Then if you take the moment at B, okay, you will see A sub Y rotate clockwise. A sub Y gonna time L. Okay, and then it's gonna be equal to clockwise moment. Then you get A sub Y point downward in the form of N moment. Now, you move a bit more. Just cut this beam at X. Okay. Consider A sub Y and M sub AB related to the internal moment. You take the moment over here. You will have M. Okay. M equal to M sub AB and minus A sub Y times X. Again, you rearrange everything, and you end up with this moment diagram. Ajahn separate this term, okay, to be the pink, this term to be the yellow. Let's start X equal to 0. When X equal to 0, the pink gonna be M sub AB. If X equal to L, this is 1 minus L over L. This is going to be 0. So the pink will be the linear, okay, line reduced from M sub AB to 0. For the second term, the green, we start with 0. So this is going to be 0. And then if you put this one to be L, this is going to be M sub BA. Now, you use the concept of conjugate beam. Conjugate beam of what? Fix, change this one to be free. External pin going to be the same external pin. Then you get conjugate beam in this form, free and pin. Okay. And then one more thing. Over here you have zeta sub A. Slope in conjugate beam equivalent to the shear force. Okay, you put it over here. Then follow what we have here. You may determine the form of M sub AB is 2 times of M sub BA. And then later you will get M sub AB for EI over L zeta sub A, and this one half of it 2 EI over L zeta sub A. That means if you assume you know zeta sub A, you will be able to determine end moment. Okay. And also, if you know the end moment, you may determine the slope theta sub A. Now, let me switch you back to the PowerPoint. Based on this one, you can solve it by yourself if you like to, or if you are interested in last year, อาจารย์ go through all of this step. That's take time. So this year, I change my mind, just show you how it's come. Okay. Now, after you do this, and then you get the result, follow what we have in the PowerPoint. I just put the detail, and then get the same result. And what we have going to be the equation for m sub a b, and also the equation for m sub b a for theta sub a. Second case, you consider theta sub b. Okay. And then you will end up with m sub ba. That's going to be at the point b, gonna be 4ei over L. And the far away end moment gonna be half of that. M sub ab gonna be 2ei over L theta sub b. Now, come to the third one. Okay. The third one, we're going to determine end moment due to the differential settlement over here. Again, let อาจารย์ switch you to a more detailed calculation. Basis upon that, we have the beam, and the member of the beam have this kind of differential settlement. Then, if you have this one and then you bend it, you will get this kind of deformation. See, then moment over here gonna be m sub ab, but rotate in counterclockwise direction. The same thing, m sub ba gonna bend in counterclockwise direction. Since the deformation of this one is in symmetry, so m sub ab equal to m sub ba and equal to m. Okay. Then you may do the same calculation. Take moment at b. We have v sub a times L clockwise, and m sub ab and m sub ba equal to m counterclockwise. So you get v sub a to be this term. Now, take the same thing, cut it at the point of x, and then you have v sub a over here. You don't need to combine it. Okay, just separate it. Then take moment over here again. You will get two terms. อาจารย์ that look the same as before. Yes, it look the same as before, but a bit of in reverse. Okay, for this term, you have x equal to 0. That means the m gonna be negative. Okay, and this is linear equation. When x equal to L, this gonna be 0, the green. For the pink, x equal to 0, m gonna be 0. X equal to L, you have this one to be m. And fixed change to free. Fixed change to free. Remember consistent deformation, we talking about fixed change to free. So you have this conjugate beam. But don't forget differential settlement delta. For the conjugate beam, it must change to moment on the conjugate beam. Okay. By putting this one, do the calculation, we will get m equal to negative 6ei over L square times delta. Okay. Again, if you interested in, you may go to the previous year video clips, and at the end, อาจารย์ get this term. Okay, the same. And the last one, that's going to be the external loading อาจารย์ will provide you with the fixed end moment table it's called fixed end moment table okay this slide show you how the equation in the fixed end moment table come from okay you don't need to interested kid you may skip kid but we got to point out to the table the table separate into two sides this is for set 1 equation and this is going to be for the set 2 equation what the difference set 2 equation for the beam having external pin and external roller okay and for the set 1 that's going to be the general equation with the start of the equation to be 2ei over L that is going to be general form of the slope deflection equation and for the set 2 is just for specific okay far end pin far end roller this equation will start with 3ei over L okay now some of them you should be able to remember such as this equation but some going to be very long like this one or this one on the purple อาจารย์ will provide you for the table for sure okay but for some of them you got to have something to remembering before your understanding remembering always start before understanding and understanding later will you use it to solve the problem that's called applying for boom taxonomy something like pyramid like this one remembering understanding applying those kind of things and then all of this equation อาจารย์ Foot said this is going to be counterclockwise that means this term gonna be negative and this one is in clockwise direction this one gonna be positive okay yeah coming into all of this one we get the result from what we consider and อาจารย์ should said we will combine m sub a b m sub a b and m sub a b together 4ei theta a 2ei theta a minus 6ei L square theta put them together this is going to be 4ei theta a and this is going to be 2ei theta b okay and this one going to be the third term and then the last one this come from the fixed end moment table as อาจารย์ mentioned and that's for m sub ab over here clockwise positive and then you have another one that's going to be m sub ba put this one over this one together you get another equation these two equations in combination is going to be general equation for slope deflection equation it can be used to solve any kind of condition of the beam okay now we have special one that's what that's going to be far end okay pin or roller what's going to be special thing of this one we going to have the moment over here okay to be m sub ba since this is pin m sub ba is 0 then taking the two equation m sub ba gonna be 0 and then fixed end moment over here fixed end moment over here from the fixed end moment table fixed end moment is fixed end moment BA is also be 0. Then the second equation gonna be rewritten. And then we have this theta sub B in the form of over here. We plug this one back over here. Rearrange equation. We have the M sub AB over here in the form of 3EI over L. And time the terms over there. The condition of fixed end moment gonna be based on the right column of the fixed end moment table. Okay. Coming into this one. Okay. You're going to be able to identify the degree of freedom. After you identify the degree of freedom, you got to be able to select proper slope deflection equation to use. This slide is important principle concept. Okay, since we take an hour already, and we are going to talking about important principle concept. Let me take like a 7-minute break. Okay, later at 2:10, we will start the second session. Okay, take some time before we coming to another important point. Okay, class. Let me start the second session. We come to the important thing. Identify the degree of freedom and also select the proper set of slope deflection equation. Let me start over here. Okay, for this problem, you may see this is fixed, so theta sub A is 0. And this is going to be theta sub E is 0. So the degree of freedom of this one going to be theta sub B and theta sub C. Okay. And then this one will have the end moment going to be M sub AB, and this one M sub BA. And also for this one, you will have this one M sub BC and this one M sub CB. And the last one over here, you will have this one to be M sub what's so called CE, and this one for M sub EC. And you can see all of the members here is going to have no external pin, no external pin. So on this problem, you will use the equation 2EI over L, 2EI over L, and 2EI over L. Okay, no option for the second test. Now, the second one, theta sub A gonna be 0. And then over here, you will have this one, theta sub B won't be 0, theta sub C won't be 0. The second problem, you have 2 degree of freedom. Okay, but on this one, if Ajahn would like to have both theta B and theta C, both theta B and theta C, you require to use the equation for the two member to be 2EI over L and 2EI over L. But if Ajahn said, I'm only interested for theta sub B only, not for theta sub C. So you will use 2EI over L and 3EI over L. That's for the second type of problem. Okay. Now, coming to the third type, you will have theta sub A, theta sub B, and theta sub C. If Ajahn said, อาจารย์ would like you to determine all of them then it require you to use 2ei over L and 2ei over L okay and in the opposite side if อาจารย์ said I only like to have only theta sub b then you will use 3ei over L and 3ei over L they are different okay if อาจารย์ said อาจารย์ would like to have theta sub a and theta sub b only two out of the three then you will have 2ei over L and then 3ei over L for this test this is going to be the third type of question now อาจารย์ may ask you again อาจารย์ would like to have theta sub b and theta sub c so this is going to be 3ei over L and this is going to be 2ei over L any question okay no question right you got to select proper set of equation the problem the easiest one going to be the first one okay and the last one you have much more choice to select the proper set of slope deflection equation you get me you catch me right try to think about it what type what set of equation supposed to be used again อาจารย์ I will use this equation to solve this problem no matter you ask me half score what you get divide by 2 okay I would like you I'm going to point out to this one as the engineer you got to have the engineering sense and engineering judgment for a proper problem okay now let me move you further if you have no question go to the step you got to do first you got to select or read actually the question statement clearly what อาจารย์ would like you to determine okay and then you got to select proper set of slope deflection equation to solve the problem and then coming to fixed end moment there are two columns of the fixed end moment one for set 1 on the left and another right column that's for set 2 you got to select proper fixed end moment for each member okay corresponding to the slope deflection equation that you select on the first step then you put everything together into the equation okay so you will have a number of equations such as for this problem if อาจารย์ said อาจารย์ would like to have okay both theta b and theta c and then following this problem as อาจารย์ mentioned you going to use 2ei over L 2ei over L and then following this one you will have this one to be m sub ab and this one gonna be m sub ba okay and then you will have this one to be m sub bc and this one to be m sub cb you have 2n moments for each member then you have two unknown how to solve these two unknown mathematically require you to have two equation okay and then following next step over here you may put this one joint b this one gonna be point c and this one m sub a ba is going to be this opposite direction. That's going to be M sub BA. And this one going to be another equation, M sub BC. Then summation of moment at B equal to 0. You get combination. You get the combination of kit and set kit to be 0. That's going to be first equation. Then following this one, you will have this one M sub CB. Summation of moment about C is 0, so M sub CB gonna be 0. You have two equations solving for zeta sub A and zeta sub B. What Ajahn put it in example is mean that you got to write the equation of the moment at the nodes. Okay, node B and node C for zeta sub B, for zeta sub C, and then you got to put the end moment from the third step into the equation of equilibrium, and then you got to solve simultaneous equation to determine zeta sub B and zeta sub C for this specific problem. After you get the unknown degree of freedom, you plug it back to determine M sub AB, M sub BA, M sub BC, and M sub CB. You get end moment. From the end moment, you will draw the free body diagram. And then later, you will determine end shear force by using the equation of equilibrium. Okay, and then following the end shear by using the equation of equilibrium, you draw shear force diagram, you draw bending moment diagram, you draw the elastic curve. That's going to be the whole step involved with the slope deflection equation. Okay, and all the steps fixed, won't change, but the problem just change. Important step gonna be the first one. Okay, let me start on this problem. This problem, we have the beam, and our beam have A, B. This is small, have EI 100. And then we have another member called BC. That is bigger, have larger fractional rigidity. And then this one have the downward differential settlement. Okay, that's going to be 10 millimeter vertical downward. Now, we're going to solve this problem by the slope deflection method. Okay, again, based on what we previously, the degree of indeterminacy of this one going to be what? That if you consider axial deformation, that is one, no axial force. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's going to be 5 minus 1 times 2 equation, because we want interested in summation of f sub x equal to 0. This is going to be 3. Okay, and if we consider the degree of freedom, we will have only zeta sub b. Okay, so this one going to be convenient to use the slope deflection equation. Okay, now you may imagine the elastic curve like this one, but if you want, it's okay. Okay, and following this one, you will have zeta sub A equal to 0, zeta sub C equal to 0, only zeta sub B. the degree of freedom 4 if you consider axial deformation, and it's going to be 3 if you not consider the axial deformation. Now, fixed end moment. Okay. All of the equation require fixed end moment, and at A and C are fixed support. So fixed end moment will come from the left hand side. And Ajahn should said fixed end moment of this one is negative. Fixed end moment of this one is negative. But fixed end moment of this one and this one gonna be positive, clockwise positive. Okay. And then take this one from the table Ajahn provide you, and then you may see A is going to be 1 meter and B is going to be 2 meter, L is going to be 3 meter, P is going to be 10 kilonewton. So fixed end moment going to have the unit of kilonewton meter. We start with this fixed end moment counterclockwise, and it's going to be negative. Okay, and then put everything together. The unit going to be kilonewton meter. Now, we come to the second one. That's going to be clockwise. This is going to be positive. PBA square divided by L square. And sure, the second one gonna be smaller because this one far away from the loading when compared to this F, this fixed end moment AB. The one that's close to the load gonna have larger fixed end moment. The one far away gonna have smaller moment. And then come to the second one, BC. Due to the symmetry, the fixed end moment over here gonna be equal to the fixed end moment over here. But the difference gonna be the sign. Okay. Here, the red gonna be negative. And the green again is gonna be positive. They are equal in magnitude, but opposite in the direction. Now, we're going to use the general equation 2EI over L for both member. We just put it into the equation 2EI over L and 2EI over L here. Noted, if the member has unequal flexural rigidity, be aware of it. Okay, so the beam also has the settlement. When it has the settlement, don't much interested in elastic curve at this point, but you got to put the line from A and then to the B palm in order to determine delta over L. And you see, this rotation is what? Is clockwise. This is going to be positive. Okay. And then you draw the line, the straight line from B palm to C. And you may note on this one, this is going to be counterclockwise rotation. So this is going to be minus delta over 5. And this one going to be minus delta over 5. The angle, opposite angle, they are equal. And this one is going to be delta over 3. Okay. Now, put M, the end moment, M sub AB, 2EI over 3. Okay. 2EI over 3. And then this gonna be 0. And then this is going to be unknown. Minus 3 delta over L. and fixed end moment A, B. And the second one, we have M sub BA, M sub BA 2 EI over 3, 2 theta B, B before, 2 theta B, A before, 2 theta A. Then eliminate this one, you can, is 0, minus 3 delta over L, and fixed end moment BA. Okay. And then for the second portion, BC, we have M sub BC, clockwise direction. And that's going to divide by 5 to 2 times 2 EI divided by 5. Beware about it. B before C, 2 theta sub B plus theta sub C. And this is negative. Beware about it. Okay. And then minus 3 minus delta ส่วน L divided by L. And fixed end moment BC. And then the last one, CB. You do the same thing. And then you get 4 end moments. You have only one unknown. Since you have only one unknown, you require only one equation. The equation going to be at B because you are looking for theta sub B. So the equilibrium equation must be at node B since relate to theta sub B. Okay. Now, only M sub BA reverse the rotation into this one. And for this one, you have M sub BC. M sub BA plus M sub BC gonna be 0 from the previous one. Take it together, combine them. Okay, combine them. You will get this equation, and then you will determine theta sub B easily. You get this one. Since this one positive, it's going to be clockwise rotation. Okay, clockwise rotation. Then plug it back into this 4 end moment A, B, BA, BC, and CB. Then you have the result. And Ajahn should note that after you get the number, you got to make sure the M sub BA and M sub BC gonna follow the equilibrium equation. If they are different, combine them, divide by 2. Okay, average it and use the average number to be the answer. Adjust it. Okay, if not, you got to adjust it. Then you get end moment. The one that's negative gonna be counterclockwise. The one that's positive gonna be clockwise. So this is going to be counterclockwise, and this is going to be clockwise, and this is going to be counterclockwise, and this is going to be clockwise. And then you got to determine this one V sub A, and also this one V sub B on the left, and this one V sub B on the right, and then this one gonna be V sub C. You use the equation of equilibrium, determine the end shear. After you get the end shear, you got to draw the shear diagram and moment diagram. I will show you guys later. But Ajahn must put some note in order you guys to get full score. Please identify something dv by dx equal to 0. dv by dx equal to 0. Point of this one, 0 shear. And then identify the slope over here dv by dx equal to minus w. Some of you may be lazy to like it. You may put s equal to 0. It's okay. Put s equal to 0. Put s equal to minus w. Identify it. Okay. Some of you อาจารย์ divide it by half because you cannot explain how you get the result. Even though you may remember it, but you got to show it. Okay. Now, another thing, moment diagram, more important. Since this value is going to be up over here to be 7.367. Oh, one more thing. The moment over here is counterclockwise. If you put it, it's going to be this way. You have the sign convention. Okay, you have the sign convention. If you put this one, the sign convention is going to be the red. The red plus the black is 0. That's going to be m plus 4.626 is 0. M over here going to be minus 4.626 kilonewton meter. So you start it with the negative. Okay, negative. And most of the time is negative. And then you have 7.376. The slope over here, dm by dx equal to v. V is constant, so it's going to be plus 7.637. Identify it, please. Okay. And then อาจารย์ should say something. If you recall back, this is 2.525. Then if you put this one and this is 2.525, following the sign convention that we have, you will have m. You will have this one. Rotate in the same direction. The same thing. M plus 2.525 is 0. So m is going to be minus 2.525 kilonewton meter. You will get this one. And then please identify the slope over here and over here. dm by dx equal to minus 2.633. And also, if you have this one, just put it to be 0. Okay, the same. It's going to be 0. Actually, you should be able to determine the location of 0 moment also. Why? That location change the reinforcement. For the RC design, you got to know the location. And then again, this is what? This is 4.456 slope. dm by dx equal to 4.459. Sorry. Over here, dm by dx equal to 0. Okay, and this one, I said this one, not this one. Many people just highlight it in different location. It's not that location. It's gonna be the location of the shear. Okay, because dm by dx equal to shear. Just put it like this one. For sure, this is gonna be dm by dx equal to minus 5.41. Okay. And can you determine the location x here? You can do it for sure. Okay. Draw the free body diagram of that portion. Make x as the variable and use the condition of m equal to 0 to determine x. And then you may draw the elastic curve. And don't forget about 10 millimeter vertical differential settlement. And don't forget about slope over here. You get this one to be clockwise. Okay, identify it to be zeta sub b equal to any one that's clockwise rotation. And please mark it inflection point, inflection point, inflection point, inflection point, 4 of them. Okay. And in the past, sometimes อาจารย์ may ask you to determine the vertical V sub dy. You can use conjugate beam to determine it. Okay. By the meantime, this term I won't ask you, but you can determine V sub dy by using conjugate beam. Okay. That's going to be 0.011 meter or 11 millimeter. This one close to what อาจารย์ also provide you, but อาจารย์ asks you guys to study it by yourself. How come I lost? Oh, K1 of this one. This is going to be the same problem. But on the PowerPoint, อาจารย์ use only theta sub b. Okay, in this problem. But later, when อาจารย์ come back, อาจารย์ will solve the same problem to determine theta sub a, theta sub b, and theta sub c. And in between, อาจารย์ may ask you two more questions. May ask you only theta sub a, theta b. May ask you for theta sub b, theta sub c. Okay, so please go back and study this very simple problem. Oh, by the meantime, we have one. Go pretty quick. Since this one, we interested only theta sub b. So this set of equation is coming to our consideration. And also this kind of fixed end moment equation going to be used because we only interested for theta sub b. And then this is going to be pin or roller. Okay. And then you got to be able to reverse for this one, for this one, for BA. Actually, for BA, you got to like this one, such as this one. Under application of the force, this one supposed to have this deformation. So fixed end moment BA gonna rotate in this direction. Okay. For BC is follow the same as in the table. And then this is what? Negative or positive. This gonna be positive clockwise. This one gonna be what? This one gonna be negative. Okay. Beware about the sign. And then you put it in the equation. Everything gonna be very easy. And you may solve it only for theta sub b. We will get the same theta sub b by solving this problem later. Okay, just take a note on this one and then put it back. You will get only m sub BA and m sub BC, and they must be equal. The sum of them must be 0. Okay, go back trying to understand it. It's going to be really easy. And then you may determine the fixed end shear, and later you may draw shear diagram and moment diagram, and please provide me with the slope. Okay, and that's going to be the end of this one. Okay. Oh, one more thing. You also should be able to determine the reaction. Okay, and then that's going to be all that we have today. Oh, this show you the point of the of moment equal to 0 or determine the inflection point, the location coordinate. Anyway, I should finish my lecture here and come later. อาจารย์ will follow extra example. Okay. So, any question for today? No question? That's nice. Always no question. Okay, have a good day and see you again next Monday. Okay. Bye bye.